Well, welcome to KREM 2 News at noon. I'm Jen York reporting live here in downtown Spokane. We are tracking breaking news here at the noon hour. Our region's leading health expert is out of a job today. In a decision effective today, Dr. Bob Lutz is no longer serving as the Spokane Regional Health District Officer. And it's already raising some feathers here. I want you to take a look off to my side. We've already have protesters down here at the Public Safety Building here in Spokane. Again, this decision just came out within the past few hours, and we just got out of a contentious press conference a few minutes ago. We're going to get to that here in just a moment, but let's walk you through what has happened. So a health district spokesperson says the board voted last night to ask for Dr. Bob Lutz's resignation. Now, that decision also came from Administrative Officer Amelia Clark. Dr. Lutz's influences impacts everyone here in Spokane County. Decisions about opening or restricting Spokane County amid the pandemic weighed heavily on his expertise. Now, currently, as you know, Spokane County remains in phase 2 of reopening.
Questions. I'm going
to Kelly, nobody understands what's happened. I don't mean to speak for everybody, but he was asked to resign. We don't know if he resigned. We don't know if he's terminated, but we don't have a health officer. This is public information. This is basic.
Yes, and so we're explaining where we are at right now, and we will make sure you're updated as soon as we have more information.
Is that later today? What does that mean?
Yes. Thank you. I have to hang up the press conference right now, you guys.
What time can we expect this?
Yeah, will you have another press conference later today?
I will let you know as soon as I know more. Thank you.
Will there be a board meeting later today?
Oh my gosh.
And you're hearing a clip there at the end of that press conference I was mentioning just a moment ago. Amanda Rowley here joining me now. You were listening to this press conference, really contentious there towards the end, but what did you take away from that conference?
Well, essentially,
Board of Health fully supports the actions taken by Amelia. Although we cannot discuss personnel issues, I can assure you that the discussion or the decision was difficult and not made lightly. We cannot specify any details, but there was valid reasoning behind these actions. I want to reiterate that the guidance we've received from Dr. Lutz regarding our recovery efforts during the COVID-19 pandemic are based on the data and are evidence-based. We will continue to follow these guidance and use the same criteria for providing guidance throughout the remainder of our recovery efforts.
yeah, a very heated end to that press conference, Jen, and we asked multiple times just for clarity on Dr. Lutz's status, and each time the administrator and president of the health board responded with the same answer, that they could not comment on personnel issues. Now, we asked if Dr. Lutz had been asked to resign for a personal or professional personnel reasons, and they would not clarify. They did say his employment is no longer a thing, I guess. We're still really just trying to clarify what that means, and it's effective. Yesterday, they said they notified staff this morning and the executive team last night. It was a full Board of Health support for the administrator to come forward asking this. So really, we still have a lot of questions unanswered here.
Yeah, and we really did press for some of these answers as to exactly what is the reasoning behind this resignation, or ask for a resignation. When is it complete? Is he still an employee of the Spokane Regional Health District? All questions that still remain unanswered here at the noon hour. Amanda, thank you.
Thank you.
Of course, those are questions that we will be taking to the experts later on today. Of course, we'll be working to answer some of those for you. A spokesperson for the Spokane Regional Health District did say that that ask to resign is effective by the end of today. We did ask if Dr. Lutz does not resign, will that lead to termination? And that question still remains up in the air here at the noon hour. Now, we want to walk you through some of Dr. Lutz's history here in the Spokane area. He has served as the region's top health officer in that position since June of 2017. Now, previously, Dr. Lutz worked as a clinical director of urgent care for Rockwood, and prior to that, he worked for 16 years in urgent care. Now, meanwhile, we've been talking a lot about the board that was making this decision. The Health District Board is made up of local political leaders, including county commissioners, city council members, and local mayors. And for more on that, we do want to bring in Mark Hanrahan back at the KREM 2 studio now. Mark, you just spoke with Spokane County Commissioner Al French. Did he give any reasoning or any clue as to why they made this decision?
Well, Jen, to answer your question, no, he did not. I spoke with Commissioner French and Commissioner Cooney earlier today. They were at a ribbon cutting ceremony in the Dishman Hills Conservation Area. That's where I asked them about the decision to ask for the resignation from Dr. Lutz. He kept telling me he couldn't get into specifics, but I pressed him a bit more about the timing of this decision. It seems like an odd time to be changing a health officer 8 months into the pandemic.
You know, there's a lot of opinions around the timing of this, and you know, there's a lot of angst in the community about, you know, why are we not moving further? Why have we not moved faster? There are a lot of businesses that are struggling. There are a lot of families that are struggling. You know, until at the national level we get some kind of stimulus package and stuff. There's a lot of folks that are really hurting. You know, we just, as the Board of County Commissioners, we just gave the food bank another $2.5 million to address food sustainability. We're doing things for rent assistance. I mean, this is unique times, and so we're doing what we can to help those in our community, especially those that are that are struggling the most.
So again, the big question that remains is why exactly was Dr. Lutz asked to resign? At this point, we still don't know, and county officials aren't saying, essentially calling it a personnel matter and something they can't comment on at this point. But the man who has led the local response to the pandemic is out, and right now, replacement has not been identified. Jen, back to you.
Mark, thank you so much. And yeah, now the question remains, who is going to fill that position? A question that we had taken to the Spokane Regional Health District today. And we also looked at the health district bylaws. The vice chair, according to the bylaws, is expected to become the acting health officer. Now that would be Spokane County Commissioner Mary Cooney. Now, when pressed on that today, a spokesperson for the health district said that is unclear, and they really need to go and take another look back at the bylaws to see who exactly will fill that seat. And that's something that we're working on for later today. Again, if you're just joining us here on KREM 2 News at Noon, we are tracking breaking news for the Spokane County area. The Spokane Regional Health District Officer, Dr. Bob Lutz, has been asked to resign from his position. Now that is expected to be effective today by end of business. We are still waiting to hear if he is accepting that resignation, and if he doesn't, if that will indeed lead to a termination. Right now, we do not know the reasoning behind this move. We have been pressing our local leaders. And of course, this is a public health issue and a publicly funded agency. We are working to get you those answers this afternoon and how it will impact our county moving forward. Now, you can look for continuing coverage this afternoon on KREM 2 News at 4, 5, and 6. You can also read more about Dr. Lutz's influence on our area right now on KREM.com. You can also find that same information on the KREM 2 app.